What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Tenzin, 130 the SOS podcast. Got my SOS t-shirt on. Had to take my style out, man, because the rubber bands they just weren't rubber banding. And that's just the cycle of life. Where every time I have like a style, it's like eventually the rubber bands just start coming off, and you try to replace them, but then they just start coming off too, and your hair just wants to unravel. So fuck it, man. You see this? I finally just unraveled it, so I'm back on my Rapunzel shit. You understand? Back on the Rapunzel shit. But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who came to our bar on Friday to watch me straight up wreck shop. Especially my colleagues, man. It's funny because they are like, "Yeah, man, we gonna come through." And it's funny because I got called like earlier in the night. Because I signed up for like 8:45. So I got called like at 8:20 something. I'm like, I did say 8:45, so I'll wait, thanks. Just trying to buy time for my colleagues to come in. But they called me the second time. I'm like, shit, all right, well, I just have to go on rap then. But I look up and I see them and I'm like, oh, literally right on time. So yeah, man, that like I said in my Sunday post, it definitely gave me a like a little like super boost, you know what I mean? Felt like Mario grabbing the star and I had a little invincibility going. So yeah, man, shout out to everyone who came out and supported. And shout out to the other artists who came and did their thing on the stage too. It was a good night till I got too fucked up. But I didn't throw up though. What up,
Hey,
B?
hey, talk about your performance.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, shout out to you. You got another one coming up, right? Or was that
Uh, yeah, I got one coming in June. That's going to be at the Revival of Reason. Shout out to the Black Non-Believers and Mandisa Thomas inviting
okay?
me out a second time. Yeah, man, we making moves down here, man. We making moves
That's
down here.
that's what's up. So with for that second performance, are you like performing? Are you speaking? Or what's going on?
Oh, performing, yeah.
Okay,
But
that's what's up.
she said it's gonna be something different. So hopefully there's like a little meetup or something because she said it's not gonna be like a normal set.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully we meet up, chop it up about it.
Hey,
But
that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, no, that's cool. But just want to give my official shout out to the SOS family. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are officially post draft to all
hey,
our Pittsburgh
it's
people.
over.
Yeah, I went down there all three
It's back
days.
to normal.
Yeah, I went down there all 3 days. Decided to sprinkle some SOS blessings down there. I should have went live actually. There were so many people cleaning up down there with interviews and stuff like that. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have bought one of them little mics that the TikTok people be
Yeah,
having.
I had one. I don't know what happened to it.
Uh but yeah, I mean, regardless though, it was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. There were some highs, some lows, but for the most part, it was cool to see like that many people in the city. Period. So
I mean, yeah, definitely something to just give y'all something to do, give y'all something to look at. Were you able to see like any of the hopefuls, like especially like college players from Pitt or anything like that were pretty well known?
apparently
Were
there
you
were
able to see
spots where
them?
they had meet and greets, but I didn't go. I didn't go to the meet and greets. I
Okay.
mainly just stayed in the general areas and stuff like that. Yeah, man, but I watched. I only went to the official draft event on Thursday. I didn't go Friday or Saturday. Uh, Friday I got down there too late, and Saturday most people wasn't going because nobody really goes for like the later rounds. So
Right, right.
but yeah, no, it was definitely pretty cool. Only bad thing I'll say, that public transportation was cool that they set up, with the free buses and stuff. But getting the bus back, boy, that was terrible, bro. It
Oh
was,
yeah.
yeah, getting the bus back was whack. Yeah, it was. I mean, everybody
Was
was
it
trying to
like
get.
a long wait time or like
Hmm. So the buses were supposed to be coming every 15 minutes. But I mean,
mhm.
I swear, because like we live on the east side, so like the east side buses, I swear, was barely coming because everybody decided to leave at the same time because we only had one pick in the first round, so everybody was leaving at the same time. You couldn't really where you had to catch them at was mad narrow, and they was getting mad that people was in the street. But I'm like, y'all forcing everybody to stand on the same corner. There's thousands of people here. Like
Right, right.
that's not feasible. And then, finally, like people was going and trying to catch it 2, 3 blocks down so that they could get it because
Mhm.
eventually the buses every time would come up was full of people already, you know.
Mm.
So and yeah, it took forever for the buses to come. I was on my feet all day Thursday. I was hurting so bad. My feet was screaming at me. And then
And
like
I bet
yeah,
it was probably even I bet it's probably even more hectic for people, doing ride share too, right? Like I know a lot of people probably trying to order a Lyft or a Uber too, so I know that was
oh
probably
yeah,
amped.
I don't even want to know how much them prices were. Well, for real, I Saturday when I was coming back, granted most of the stuff had died down by Saturday, so but I remember on the way back, we took. I don't think we used the official Uber or Lyft app. There was just some guy doing rides, and like he had a van,
What
and
y'all call it
he.
up there? Jitneys?
I guess yeah, but
What?
this must have been like a white version of that. But he charged me and
Okay.
my two friends $144 to get go back home. That's $43,
Well,
48 I think each.
so this nigga just have like a dartboard in the car, just yeah, that's how much I'm charging. Like,
Yeah,
cause I mean, cause like you're not. I don't think is Penn Hills. No, cause I
Penn
don't.
Hills is
Is it
not
that
that far
far
from
from
the
downtown?
no.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
it's
no, that
not.
nigga was tripping. Right? But he was
Yeah.
definitely taking advantage of the
Oh
demand.
yeah, that was
Okay.
the issue with a lot of stuff that was going on. A lot of places was price gouging real crazy. Like they was, you know, there've been a lot of like complaints from a lot of local businesses talking about like, how they didn't get as much business as they was essentially promised or whatever. And they have some decent complaints, but some of the businesses do got to take responsibility in the fact that like some of these businesses, and I'm not going to say it was all of them, but there was a decent amount of y'all who in because like y'all bought a whole bunch of extra stuff in preparation for the draft, but then y'all went price gouging. So imagine you're somebody who lives here and you go frequent some of these places often, and let's say I don't know, let's say pizza for example, you have
Mm-hmm.
like $1 slice usually, and now you charge it $5. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
All right,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
nigga.
Like stuff like that, charging $10 for 3 chicken wings. Like, I'm about to fight you. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
bro. Like, yeah, like they're asking for it at that point. Like,
Yeah,
'cause what was it that Hey Arnold where they like damn near flipped the ice cream truck? Like, yeah, y'all was about to get
yeah.
that.
But there was some issues. Like, granted, I didn't go down to the point. That's where the big fountain is. And I didn't really go down to Market Square either. That's over by PPG. Um, I didn't go to those two spots because them was other two big spots. I didn't go over to Point State Park or PPG or like Market Square or whatever. And so I can I can understand too. Like there were some issues though, because for instance, the actual like where the draft stage was at, it was like a whole complex. They built this big fence around it. You had to stay within this area, and they apparently had a rule at the gate that if you left the draft area, you couldn't come
Mm-hmm.
back in. And I'm
No
like,
reentry, huh?
yeah, and I'm like, what? And so I can imagine maybe some businesses got passed up because people was afraid to leave the draft area and come back. And you couldn't bring
Right, right.
outside food in there. So it's not like you could if you did go to like, for instance, like a food vendor, went to like one of the restaurants outside the enclosure, you would have had to eat in before you got there because you can't bring food in there because they had their own food stands in there.
Oh, of course.
And them prices in the enclosure, oh my god! That Thursday, I spent so much money, $17 for chicken tenders and fries.
Oh.
It was supposed to be four tenders, but they low key they just look like two tenders cut in half. But and then it was like $26, maybe 27 for like a cheesesteak and fries. And that cheesesteak was mad dry. Like it was dry.
like that's that bull, like, cause there'll be events down here sometimes, like especially like Dragon Con
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Like they'll have their they'll have their food truck vendors and whatever. They just be charging whatever the fuck they want. And yeah, like you said, like you'll order some shit and you be like, all right, bro, you look me dead in my face.
Yeah.
It said this will be something. I'm looking at the picture, salivating.
Right.
Yeah, this cheese they gonna be good. Then you get this like what is this fire festival ass shit you gonna give
Yeah.
me, bro? Like,
Well, see, the problem was them vendors. I was just that them two things I got from out the official NFL draft event. Them was the food stands in the event. Now, granted, if I had walked out and maybe went to like the Point or Market Square or somewhere, I could have found some better food or something. But I said I was scared to
right.
leave because I didn't know
being
I didn't know about the rule about no reentry until we went up to the gate and we were asking, oh, like, do we get like a stamp or something? And they were like, no, if you leave, you can't come back.
that's some bullshit. Like, what if you got to go to your car or something? Like, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. But I feel okay. So that's a little more understandable because I know, like, at the Mercedes Benz, like, we go to a Falcons game. Yeah, hell no. Like, yeah, like you said, like, chicken tenders would be like $15. You'd be like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
what are y'all on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it'll be like some shit you could get from a carnival from
Right.
wherever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's essentially what it was. Yeah.
And it's like, what are y'all paying for? Like, did y'all have to pay rent to or
Exactly.
something? Like, so
Exactly. Like, I said, like there was probably other local vendors out there, but I think that could have, in terms of the food vendors anyway, I think that could be a reason why some of the food vendors, local food vendors kind of got skipped was because a lot of people didn't want to have to buy their food and eat it on the way in there just to have to throw it away at the gate. You know what I mean?
right.
Now, in terms of merchandise, that one, like actual like stores that sold merchandise and stuff, that one's a bit iffy because you could bring outside stuff in there. It just everything had to be in a clear bag. So you just had to bring it within a clear bag. So you could have technically went to like a mom and pop place and bought a t-shirt or something.
Okay, so my next question is, I mean, because usually the value of hosting events like this is, for your local businesses to get some revenue. Like, would you say that worked? I mean, because apparently the NFL brought their own vendors and shit. So it's like, did the
Well, I
city
think
make any
some
money?
vendors made out better than others. I just think, from what I've been hearing, it seems like there was a lot of vendors who was upset because they felt they was going to get all this influx of business,
Right.
and then here they felt that they kind of got skipped over. You know what I mean? But like I would think it would depend on A, where your business was located, and B, what you selling. Because like food, I can see how you got skipped over if you were a food vendor for the issue I just brought up. But if you sold stuff like, I don't know, craft items and stuff like that, well then maybe just people just didn't want craft items. You know what I mean? Like that
Right.
that could just be it. Or like even when it comes to merchandise, like yeah, a local vendor would probably be cheaper. Like for instance, like if you go down to the Strip District, that's where a lot of people get Steelers gear down there. Well, I don't know what the prices are now, but I remember there used to be a point in time when people would go down to the Strip District to get cheap Steelers stuff. compared to like the NFL stuff. But for a thing that happens only once a year, like the draft, I think that could be another issue too. If somebody was like, well, if I'm gonna spend money on a t-shirt, I'm gonna get the NFL t-shirt rather than like what y'all selling in here or whatever. So, but it depends. I can't really speak to what a lot of the tourist mindset was. But then again, too, I think, to play, stick up for the local vendors a little bit more. I will say, I do think both the city and the NFL could have been more, how I say, inclusive with their marketing towards those local vendors. I think they could have, like for instance, like I said, with the food inside the event, I think instead of building these generic quote unquote fair stands, y'all could have just had local vendors in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was thinking too. Like, cause kind of like I don't frequent there like that anymore. Cause when you live down here, you kind of grow out of it. But I'm pretty sure like every time we throw an event down here, Varsity makes hella money just because.
Right.
Oh yeah, we heard of the Varsity. Let's go over there get a chili
Right.
dog. Yeah. So and whatever the popular restaurant up there is, like I'm thinking they would be getting hella business just because the draft was up there.
Well, like, and I think now, like I said, I didn't go down to Point State Park, but I think in Point State Park, the setup they had there, from what I heard, they did have. It was like only like 5 or 6 of them, but they built them stands for local food vendors. One of them was a business called Street Fries, and it's like this black dude. He got a food truck, and it's like fries with different meat and topping and stuff on them. And while that was cool to have at Point State Park, y'all could have did the same thing over near the actual NFL stage. I thought that was kind of whack to do. Because, like, for instance, they had a fry place in the enclosure called Pittsburgh or Steel City Fries or something. But, like, it was just, like, frozen fries that they fried up in oil with different dips. And I'm just like, see, y'all could have had the street fries dude come over here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of having him at Point State Park. Now, don't be wrong. They said there was a bunch of people at Point State Park, so he probably made a grip. But two, it is kind of whack. Like they said, on that little strip that they built for them at Point State Park, there was only like 6 or 7 businesses over there. Y'all could have had mad local vendors there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just hiring what I'd assume is like a food service or a catering company for what y'all did, And then, there is another aspect to talk about too. And I think I brought him up on the podcast before. B. Marshall, he like handles stuff like Juneteenth and stuff here. Like he's done a lot like stuff here. He brought
was that the brother he was talking about who was kind of beefing with the black mayor up there?
Yeah,
Okay.
So B. Marshall, he brought up weeks ago how. So apparently, I guess the city of Pittsburgh did put out like, in order to drive up like the hype for it, put out of like, oh, okay. I think that's what most of the Point State Park stuff was supposed to be, was like a lot of vendor tents and stuff like that. So they put out like a whole list of stuff and of like different vendors that was like a lot like being highlighted over there. Well, B. Marshall pointed out most of those businesses were white businesses, and there was like barely any black businesses highlighted in that event. So he held his own over, I forgot where he held his own, but he held his own with black vendors and stuff like that. But it wasn't near the North Shore, I think, or I forgot exactly where it was. But that was messed up too, because he shouldn't have had to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, we're not the blackest city, but we got a decent amount of black folks here. And y'all could have, like, I think they had like 2 or 3 black businesses in the official, like, event space. And I'm just like, that's kind of whack. You know what I mean? Like y'all could have had so many other people here that deserved the hype too. Like I said, I didn't go to Point State Park, so I don't know what all businesses was over there, like that had tents and stuff like that. But from what it seemed like, most of the people who won the bid to go over there was white, and I thought that was pretty messed up. But yeah, no, yeah, I do think the city and the NFL in particular could have done more to highlight local businesses. I don't know, it is a bit tricky, but I do at least understand some of those local businesses who was mad because they was like, "Yo, like we bought all this excess, supplies to handle this big demand, and now we're just stuck with mad supplies." And we're kind of, and some of these businesses are saying like they're kind of struggling financially now because they don't have the, they didn't make the revenue to cover.
Mm, dang. Okay. Oof. Well. Well, I mean, I guess besides the, some of the local businesses kind of getting screwed over with the NFL's stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm glad y'all had a good experience at least with the NFL draft being able to host it.
Yeah.
So
What's like, yeah, no, I'm like, one of the things I'll say is like, I'm happy things went relatively okay. Granted, besides like some of the complaints and stuff, I do think if we tweaked it some more, we could hold something of this bandwidth again.
yeah,
And I would hope we could, because like, yeah, I would really like to see us hold something good, I don't know, maybe like a music festival.
mm-hmm.
Maybe artists stop skipping us and going to Philadelphia. You
Or
know,
host a World Series, something. I don't know.
by the way,
Like,
Two Chains, shout out to my Atlanta people. Two Chains was up here. I think that was Saturday. I seen him perform on one of the stages. He was dope.
okay,
Yeah, he was dope. He was
two
fire.
chains
Yeah. Yeah,
walking
Two
on
Chains.
that grass.
Yeah, I think some of the performances up here, I think it was like Nelly, Two Chains, Steve Aoki. I know Wiz came out
Okay.
on Friday, but
I mean, this.
oh
I mean, he better have performed up there.
the
He got.
logistics around that was one of the other things, bro. The NFL committee just kept changing rules and schedules so much. That man was supposed to the doors was supposed to open at 5:30, okay, on
Mhm.
Friday. Then they switched it to the concert starting at 5:30. I was already running late, so I was screwed regardless. But still, then they changed it to the concert starting at 5:15. And then at the very last minute, they're like, actually the concert's gonna start at 5. I'm like, okay. By the time I get down there, I'm missing the whole concert. Like this, like I don't even know why I even left the house. Like that's like that. So yeah, and from what I heard, apparently he only got up there, performed like 3 songs and bounced.
I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, well, granted, besides the fact that it's Pittsburgh, I mean, that nigga got two unofficial NFL songs. I mean, he got
Right.
Black and Yellow and We Them Boys. Like,
Yeah.
so it's crazy. Like, he made a song for obviously the Steelers, but I mean, the us Cowboys, we appropriated We Them Boys. So,
Yeah. But
so
yeah,
hopefully he
he
did them too.
performed on the official draft stage, like the actual, because like that was like supposed to be like their big headline concert. It was him and Brett Michaels, I think, from Guns N'
Was that
Roses.
a? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had that show, the dating show.
The date.
Uh,
Uh,
it was like
oh, I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, because I think he's from Pittsburgh too. So it was like them two was like supposed to be like the big like official NFL draft concerts, and then like they said down on the North Shore, they I guess in preparation of the draft, they built this little mini stage over by the baseball stadium, and that's where Nelly performed Wednesday, Steve Aoki performed Thursday, and then Two Chains performed Saturday on that stage.
Okay. Damn. All right. Well, man, it sound like a huge
Also,
party.
word
So.
on the street, apparently at one of there was, I think it's called the Roxy Theater, I think.
Hmm.
Apparently Soldier Boy was here. I'm like, Soldier Boy, how you just wiggled in
You know what,
there?
man? Hey, shout out to Soldier. He performed at one of the playoff games down here between us Hawks and the Knicks. And yeah, I mean, it made sense because it was Atlanta, but he did all his little classics,
Yeah,
crank that Soldier Boy, kiss me through the phone. I'm like,
yeah.
so, made us millennials feel young again.
I
Thanks,
want him to perform. If I
Soldier.
was there, I would have wanted him to perform. It was the one freestyle where he was talking about uh uh he dissed the RB. I don't know if you're I mean you're older than me, so you should remember. You remember like this was like when he was like mainly popping. He got like banned. His music was banned in the barracks of the military because like he dissed the military on like one of his
Oh,
MySpace
what was that?
freestyles or something like that.
What did he say? I forgot.
He said he said something about like after the Marines and the Army troops or something like that. Uh, uh he said something about be your own man. I'll be flying through the crowds with green like I'm Peter Pan. It was something crazy. Like I remember he said something about like be it's something about be your own man, and then I remember he followed it up with I'll be flying through the clouds with green like a Peter Pan. And I remember like there was like a whole controversy on like how his music was banned in the barracks or something because like he disrespected the military.
Okay. Well, I mean, the only controversial line I remember, what did he say? He said something. He said something about sagging. He was like, "I'm on sagging, niggas."
Oh my god, bro! He
Right.
used to
But
he used to be a menace, boy.
I mean, but hey, shout out to Soldier, man. Well, one of the first like modern artists to like get it popping like truly independently because he started off on SoundClick and
Yeah.
MySpace and yeah,
Well,
he
like I say, I mean,
viral.
I know like it's become a meme at this point, but he really was the first rapper to. I think somebody like did the research and found out that he really was the first r- rapper on YouTube.
Mm.
Like he had like the first rap music video on YouTube.
Hey, shout out to my man talking about yeah 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 yeah
That
yeah.
was a rap, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was him and A-Rap. Like, hey, Soldier Boy, can I get you? Nah, bitch, nah. Like, yeah, because I think A-Rap made the beats or something like that.
I can't
If I
remember.
can,
I'll be honest. I'm gonna be for real. I was a kid when Soldier Boy was popping, so I didn't really know what Arab did because I was like, I always just wondered who Arab was, and then I seen him in the was I think it was the Throw Some D's music video. The yeah, where they was like walked into school, put our report card on the teacher's
oh
desk. He
yeah,
told us
Tough
throw
on
some
these.
D's, and I think that was the first. No, my bad. I'm tripping. It was the y'all trick y'all video because throw some D's was the tail end of that music video. They smashed like two music videos into one. A lot of artists used to do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, that was the first time I ever see Arab before in my life because I kept hearing Arab about Arab, and I'm like, oh, that's Arab, and then I never saw Arab again. That was the first and last time I ever see Arab in my life.
Okay.
But he was supposed to be
Whew.
up next.
All right. So we're about halfway in, and we got to get to the main topic of the night. So, I originally planned to have Gabriel Stobel back on here.
Hmm.
I don't think he was a part. I don't think he was there for that show. B.
Hmm.
He came in to talk about grief, but that was like years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so I decided, what better topic than the also dreaded gender wars? Oh,
Yeah.
but and Now I will touch on. We're gonna start light first and foremost. I mean, I personally did not see it, but if you're one of those weirdos who was jumping for joy when you heard about Klay Thompson's infidelity, get yourself mentally checked out. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? Like this is like, but also just to be that invested, like that's crazy. But no, I've seen some statuses where they were like, "Damn, man, uh, niggas was louder about this bullshit ass infidelity shit than you know black women being killed." And yeah, and it's like I don't know. Like usually when you hear about the gender war, it's always men do this, women do that, right? And it's like most of the complaints you'll hear from guys usually is, oh man, these fucking stupid bitches, they don't want to, they lit, they be leading me on, or they'll go after this person. Whereas most of the complaints from women is, especially the black ones, y'all niggas killing us. And it's true because I was rereading the article about Dr. Fairfax, the woman who was murdered by her husband, former lieutenant governor of Virginia,
Okay.
Fairfax,
I
and
was trying to think of what that. Okay, no, I remember this now. Yeah,
mhm. And it got me to digging. It's like, yo, the stats are quite unfortunate. Yeah, it seems like black women are very most likely to be victims of intimate partner violence.
hmm
And they are, and I'm looking at this NBC News article. It's like they pulled a study from the Lancet, the
hmm
Lancet Medical Journal, and it was data collected between 1999 and 2020, and across like 30 states for women ages, black women ages 25 to 44.
hmm
And oh boy, yeah, yeah, that homicide rate against them is just crazy.
yeah,
And don't get it twisted. I mean, look, men, we suffer intimate partner violence too.
yeah,
Um, I don't know what the stats is on us being killed though. Like as far as like heterosexual relationships, I mean, I'm pretty sure like there's a study on like black male gay relationships where intimate partner violence might turn deadly.
right,
But yeah, nah. I mean, and like, and yes, men get battered too and sexually assaulted. Yeah,
right,
we suffer that too. But I mean, we gotta we gotta face the facts, man. Black chicks face it a hell of a lot more,
right.
and ooh, and and with especially with, I mean, granted, the women survived, but unfortunately, the children didn't. Shreveport, Louisiana, that what's his name,
Right.
Elkins, opened fire on 7 of his children, and
hmm
I think was like it was like a couple of nieces,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. He shot the woman and killed. I think the kids actually died.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I didn't hear that she passed, but last time I heard, she was still in the hospital.
right. And and it's and, now granted, like a black guy didn't do this, but there was like some uh black influencer lady, I guess like her white husband, I guess they were newly married or engaged.
No, they was engaged. They
Oh, they were
went
engaged. Okay.
over. I forgot which country, but they went over there. He proposed over there, and then it was either that night or maybe a couple of days later. I can't remember the timeline, but they found her dead in their hotel room.
And he's still over there, right? They kept him there to investigate, or
I think he's still over there.
yeah, man. I mean, now this woman, she has some anti-black male views. Okay,
See,
I
I had
mean,
never heard of her. I'd never heard of her, so I'm gonna
right.
be honest. I can't speak to what she was doing or saying. I
I
don't
mean,
remember.
well, you know,
I never heard of
it
her.
came to light after, but I mean,
Okay.
you know, like me personally, I'm like, well, that's still tragic. You know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah, it's like I don't know, like when you hear about, you know, dudes complaining about, which this is real, by the way, these are real things to complain about, but I mean, compared to the motherfuckers that's actually dying, I mean, are we really facing that much problems in the gender wars? Like,
Well, I guess I don't know. It's hard because it's a bunch of people talking on the struggles of somebody else that they don't go through. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, for instance, like the murder thing. Like, granted, I don't know how much like information is out there in terms of like black male murders, in terms of partner violence and stuff. But yeah, the murder rate I'd imagine is probably way higher for women. Of course, unfortunately, that's just the society we live in. But when it comes to like the domestic violence thing and stuff too, I think there is a gap amongst women when it comes to that. I think there are some women who either say it's okay, or they'll say something like, okay, but what exactly happened? Or like they'll try to gauge the level of the domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? And even not even straight up physical violence, it could be emotional violence as well.
mhm,
And so I think that's one of the main issues. It's a bunch of people speaking on something that they'll never really know. Like, for instance,
right,
most women don't know what it's like to be a man and not be able to really defend yourself in a situation, because I mean, and this is due to patriarchal standards, but
mhm,
they'll never know what it's like to be a man suffering the abuse from a woman, and then you tell somebody and they be like, oh, well, why didn't you just move out the way or something? You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, oh,
right,
well,
right,
like, and then you got a bunch of dudes who will never know what it's like being on the both the being the victims of double discrimination of sexism and racism. And then
right,
imagine you're in a physically violent situation, and you can't go to the cops because you're black and they don't believe you. And then also most of society tells you, well, you're a woman, so shut up and take it. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
so yeah, I think that's where most of the gender war is really placed at.
And
It's
you
like
know, and that's
nobody's really trying to hear it, and it makes it worse with social media too. Because for real, most
mhm,
people, out of like the pocket of people who are really trying to have discussions about this, there's a bunch of people who's trying to get viral tweet of the day, and flame somebody just so they could
right.
get a day's worth of likes and congratulations on your hit tweet. So yeah, I think that's the other part of it too.
Yeah, and you know, and that's man, how you spell intimate? Intimate? Shit. I don't know.
INTIMATE.
INTI.
I
Uh-huh.
MATE.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, you know, and that's the thing too, like every time, which, you know, I'll read those threads just for entertainment, but it's just like, yeah, bro, I feel sorry for the people who, are actually commenting on these things, like
Right.
you said, actually wanting to have like a serious conversation, but whoever they're talking to online, of course, they're just going to be a brick wall. They're not trying
Right.
to learn what's true.
Right.
They're not even trying to get a solution. They just want to be like, oh, fucking females, you fucking stupid ass females. If you guys would just shut the fuck up and get, or vice versa. Like, you greasy ass nigga, you no pussy ass
And a lot of
female.
people have
Like,
brought up, and have exposed the fact that there are straight up people whose only job it is in those discussions is just straight up paid agitation. Like, that's
yeah,
literally what it is. Like, I mean, granted, this ain't really a conversation amongst like black people, but like, you know, Andrew Tate, you know what I'm saying? He's literally a paid agitator. Like,
I
that's
mean, he's
what.
half black.
Oh, I'll be forgetting that, but I'll be honest with you, because especially
I mean, he
because
does sound weird when he says nigga. I'm like, hey, you're not allowed.
wait, okay, that's crazy. Uh, well, like, especially because For real, I've always had or at least I thought was a good biracial detector. Like I was one of the people who clocked Logic was black immediately, but when I saw him, I'm just like he looks low key Dominican more so than black. Well, I guess Dominicans are black, but you know what I mean. Like he looked
Right,
more
right.
Latino, like
I mean, trust
especially
me, I had to read about it to know. Okay.
right, especially too like when you see the brother definitely looked like a white man. The brother looked whiter than him. Like, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing. I don't know if hmm, I wonder if Tristan. I wonder if they got the same two parents. That's interesting. Cause yeah, like Tristan definitely looks like just a white guy.
yeah.
So
But anyway, I only brought him up because he's another one. It's like, yeah, do I believe he's like, like a sexist bigot? Like obviously. But in terms of like the majority of the stuff he says and preaches, that is 100% him cutting agitprop for views, clicks, and donations. Like that's literally what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing it to get a rise out of people, to get them to follow his content, and then to also garner more supporters so he can further get a rise out of people and stuff like that. That's not to say that he
yeah,
don't believe in everything he said. I think sometimes people get caught up on that stuff, like with the grifter thing. They'll be like, oh, so you saying he's really just a good guy? I'm like, no, obviously he's a terrible person, but what I'm saying is most of the things he says in them videos and stuff like that and does, most of that stuff he don't really believe it. He's putting it on video so y'all can get mad and drive up his clicks. Like that's literally what it is. So I think that's another thing. I think when it comes to these like arguments and wars and stuff, people need to realize, okay, the person you're getting mad at right now, like take a breath, and if 90% of their content is literally this stuff, then they're getting paid. Like
yeah.
that's
I
literally,
mean, and now then you got figures like Myron Gaines and Walter, whatever the fuck his
yeah.
last name is. Like, I mean,
I
do
put them
they
in that
believe this
category.
shit? Not necessarily, because they definitely. I mean, because they've been exposed for not practicing what they preach, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
that nigga Myron was on a damn sugar, like on a sugar baby website or something.
Dang.
Like, like yeah, they obviously, and some of those women were paid to be on the show to make them
Right,
look good. So
right.
I mean, but obviously they're gonna spread this fuck ass rhetoric, you
Hmm.
know, which telling pickup artistry, it never really changes, and unfortunately there's always going to be like some teenager or young adult
Yeah,
that's just like, oh man, I need to learn how to score, man,
yeah.
because they're just trying to find their way. That's all. They're interested in girls, and they just trying to figure out how to get them, but
Hmm.
unfortunately you might get the wrong role model.
Exactly.
My uncle, peace be upon him, like he wasn't like no wild misogynist, but I had to learn pretty quick that his advice ain't gonna work for the type of women I talk to, because
Right.
the type of women he be on were kind of like street women. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they kind of got to get strong armed a little bit. Whereas like the type of women we and you are gonna talk to,
Right.
no, like I
Right.
mean,
Right.
you
No,
know
I
what I'm
get you.
saying? So, but nah, it's just, and don't get it twisted. Like I do understand. Like I've dealt with women who would manipulate, lead you on, like be unaccountable, right? But I guess like when you look at it from you know, and I ain't no telling how big the dark figure is on the male side, but I'm just looking at the information that's available. Like, I mean, black women are dying, because
Right.
of these relationships. And yeah, and as you pointed out, like even our bullshit, I mean, it's the cause. Even what we go through is because of this patriarchal society that we're in. So yeah,
Hmm.
I go to the police and I say, hey man, this 5'4" 130-pound woman is whooping my ass.
Right.
Oh, fucking pussy.
Right.
You know, or same with women, right? Like, oh my god, like especially if you live in like a rural town or something like that. Oh
Right.
man, my baby daddy whooped my ass again. I'm
Right.
gonna go back because I'm dependent on him,
Right.
or maybe, they're in a environment where education is just not that strong and there's no resources like that. So it's like, yeah, it's like what can you do? You know,
Mm-hmm.
which all we can do is try to spread awareness as much as we can and educate, you know. And
Yeah.
now debating your annoying Facebook friend definitely ain't gonna help nothing unless you're
Right.
just a good debater and can just make them look stupid. But
Right.
I mean, this is a real problem. I mean, and we're talking about and it don't even have to be just like hood motherfuckers, because again, you know, Dr. Fairfax killed by her husband, who was a
Right.
former lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Like, I I mean, and apparently, you know, I think she been trying to leave him like 6 years prior, but I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah. But
something's
it's hard.
got to
It's
give.
it's hard though, because like sometimes you hate to sound callous, but it's hard too when like somebody makes the same mistake over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you
Oh
see
yeah, I
somebody
mean, like
keep running
now,
back into the fire, like dude, there have been
yeah,
some people I seen. I just be like on both sides of the gender, I'll say. I just be like, do you like dodging right hooks every day? Because like this is crazy. But then the worst part, I think the worst part, and this is where like a lot of like, not to say I'm okay with bystander stuff, but I think where sometimes why sometimes people have that mindset with bystander stuff is like, God forbid you get involved. And then now it's two people teamed up against you. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And then it's
yeah,
just like, what am I supposed to do? It's like
and and
I
that's the
remember there
unfortunate.
was there was
Yeah.
a time. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you up,
Oh no,
but
no, go ahead, go ahead.
there was a time. I'm not gonna say who it was in particular, just in case this ever gets out. But like, you know, we got a call. Family got a call that like a situation was happening. We head in the car, zoom all the way over there, and we run up in there. I was a kid at the time, but my mom runs up in there, and we go in there. We see them two. We see the person who called with their one kid, and then the two people who was involved in the situation. They're laughing and joking and stuff, watching Christmas movies, and we like what? Like why? Why did we zoom over here? Like what's going on? Like what I mean? Like what was the point? Eventually that couple broke up, but still, it was like, yo, like, what I mean? It would be stuff like that on a consistent basis, and it's just
Right,
like, it's like, sometimes it's hard, not to say that you shouldn't try. I'm not saying nobody, like, if I'm not going to sit there in front of somebody watching them get beat up, I'm not doing it,
right, right,
I'll try to intervene. If y'all turn on me, then I'll just leave and maybe call the police. But I'm not just
right,
gonna sit there and watch it. But at the same time, I'm also not gonna come running every time a flag gets raised in the air either. It's just like, because how many times you done raised this flag? Like every time you raise a red flag, then it turn back to green. So it's like I definitely can understand like why like a lot of bystander stuff gets happening, but it's also not a reason to ignore those domestic issues at all. So
see, yeah, and I was gonna say that's like the difficult part. Like, when you put it on the individual basis, because like it's kind of like drug addiction or alcoholism, right? Like
right.
it's up to the person to want to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a victim of intimate partner violence, domestic violence, what have you, like it's up to it's up to the victim to want better for themselves and to try
Right.
to leave. And and like you said, a lot of them do just keep going back. You know,
Right.
because obviously abuse is mental as well,
Right.
but also, unfortunately, like the most dangerous time within these, you know, abusive partnerships is when the person is actually trying to leave, and that's when
Yeah.
motherfuckers die.
Right.
You
And
know,
there's another small portion we got to talk about, and this one's extremely rare, but they do be out there. There's them ones too. There are some people, and I say people before anybody say I'm talking about a specific gender. There are some people who love toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Like who crave it. They can't have a normal relationship. Like they need the toxicity to function. Like as much as they complaining, as much as they fighting, like I said, it's a small amount of people, but unfortunately, these people are out there, and sometimes that's hard to gauge too. Like if every relationship you get in, y'all punching and fighting and kicking each other, like maybe you like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
I
I,
mean,
I hate to
and
say that. Like,
tragically, yeah. I mean, some people they grew up in instability all their lives, and that's all
right,
they're used to. So and yeah, I mean, you would hear. I know you heard some women say it, but yeah, some women do be like, "Oh yeah, I need my nigga to kind of tell me to shut the fuck up sometime,"
yeah,
and vice versa, right? You hear,
yeah.
I mean, even though it's some fetish shit, like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like when, you know, maybe it's because of the mom I had, like, I kind of like when a woman be like, "You piece of shit," I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I just be
or
like,
like how men be fetishizing Hispanic women, like being toxic and stuff. Like, oh yeah, you
yeah,
crazy motherfucker.
bro.
But
I know
obviously,
so many
nobody want
people.
that.
Yeah, I knew so many people who was like who couldn't wait to get like a toxic Latino chick, and I just be like, I don't want
Yeah.
nobody cussing me out in English. Like, you
Right,
not finna
right.
talk to me like that. I will pull out Duolingo so fast, dog. Like, I'm like, what'd you say? Wait a minute.
And it's like, and and again, like, listen, I'm obviously just because of the statistics that we know about, and until men get more and more brave, which is a lot easier said than done, to actually
Right.
come forward and just talk about what they went through. I mean, yeah, like women are getting it the worst.
Yeah.
However, I always say this is one of my unpopular opinions. Size your opponent up before you strike them. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say. Size your opponent up. You can't expect to you can't expect, I don't and I'm talking about if you're one of them toxic women who like to hit niggas, like
Right.
you're gonna hit the right one day. All right. But and but just to bring it back to the main point is,
Yeah.
you know, as you said before, like, yeah, I don't know what it's like to be somebody that's just physically weaker
Mm-hmm.
than the person that I'm supposed to trust
Right.
to, love me and respect me,
Mm-hmm.
and just get my ass just flung across the room, like over
Right.
some dumb shit. Like, you know, granted, like this was happening to a white woman, but when I saw that footage of that ex football player just beating the fool out there, I was like, God damn. And like, and somebody was explaining, like, unfortunately, victims of violence like that, it's like they got to train themselves
Right.
to not scream out or
Oh yeah,
express pain.
yeah.
You
Oh yeah,
know,
my grandma, she went through horrific abuse from my grandfather, before she finally
mm,
got the courage to leave him. She packed all my uncles and my mom up, little red wagon. She used to tell that story all the time. She had the little red wagon, packed them up, moved them from Oakwood Street in Homewood down to I think, where her house is now, like, yeah, she went, went through terrible stuff. My mom said, they grew up with him beating her and stuff. And one time he chased her down the street with a belt while she was naked and stuff like that, humiliated her and stuff. So, yeah, no, I mean,
Man,
you
I'm
know,
so sorry, B. I did not know your grandma went through that.
yeah, I mean, that's
That's
honestly, they
wild,
said,
bro.
like, we'll never know for sure, but that could have been one of the contributing factors to her Alzheimer's. Granted, it runs in our family anyway, but like,
Right, but
it,
still,
yeah.
I mean, I am so glad that she had the courage to, yeah, get out that situation because
Hmm.
ain't no telling, like, you
Yeah.
know. Wow, man, oh man, I did not know that. But and like this ain't funny, but I always think about that scene on Godfather.
Yeah.
What's his name? You know who I'm talking about,
Carlo.
though. Carlo, yeah. When Carlo was I remember thinking to myself, like, listen, I don't care how smaller and weaker I am. If I was a woman, like, I don't care how much smaller and weaker I am than you. Like, if
Hmm.
you even think about pulling a belt out on me, like I'm your fucking
Right.
nah, nigga. You eating crushed glass for a month.
Right.
You know, like, cause even as a kid watching it, I was like, all right, nigga, really, you gonna pull the belt out, like,
Right.
But it's just, I mean, we got to do better,
Right.
and I'm not afraid to say we, like, cause we're normal. You know what I'm saying? We see the men ain't shit posts. We know they ain't talking about us,
Right.
but
However, I
but
think
yeah,
when it comes to the whole gender war stuff, I will say, again, this is part I'm not holier than y'all. I tell y'all this all the time. I'm a victim of it too. Sometimes I'll see some of them posts on Twitter, or I'll see some of them takes, and I'll just be like, "Are y'all
oh yeah,
stupid?"
the
Like,
worst,
bruh, I
the worst
listen.
kind of
I'll
post.
say of the gender war takes, the dumbest take I've heard, and I've seen it come up recently. Is circling back to your Meg and Clay Thompson thing. The stupidest take that some of y'all women have come up with, and I say some because it ain't all of y'all. It's just some that a dude who is a philanderer and messing around with women and cheating is somehow secretly gay, and I'm just like, how did y'all get there? Like,
mean,
I don't understand. That's 1 + 1 = potato. Like, I don't understand how that happened. Like,
yeah,
every time
like,
I
so
see one of
fucking
those
different women
posts,
make you gay.
every time I see one of those posts, I'm like, oh, this is one of the paid agitators, because there's no way you actually think this in real life. Like, no,
Oh,
like,
don't get it twisted, B. I mean, because here at the SOS, we call out everybody. I mean, granted, they are minuscule, but there is a group of black women known as divestors, and oh
oh
my god, like
boy,
the
I didn't know.
anti-black male rhetoric that they like. What was it? Wasn't there like a what do you call it? A Twitter voice space or whatever, like full of like these black women talking about how they get off to like hearing news stories about black men getting shot
Nah,
by the
I
cops.
remember old girl.
Like what?
This was after the brick, bro. Okay, we're gonna go into gender war. We gotta talk about Brick Lady, but after the Brick Lady situation, this was like when that story
Mhm.
first broke. There's this chick, and she's like real popular in like black political space type stuff. I forget this chick's name, but I remember she started something about bullet, like was calling black dudes bullet bags or something because of that story, and like, when the Brick Lady story went up and found out she was lying, that chick, to my knowledge, still has not apologized for that. And I'm just like, yo, like, even if you were mad about the Brick Lady thing, like, why would you refer to black men as that? Like, that was so
Yeah, that
sickening
was
to
weird.
me. Like, that was foul. Like, that was really foul. Like that's crazy. Like, that's like, uh that's like, oh, that's the same equivalent of them, like, snow bunny chaser dudes on Twitter. There's a whole bunch of them who be going around talking about
Mm,
these are the women we're supposed to be protected. Like they'll see like one video of black chicks fighting and be like, ugh, glad I left these alone a long time ago. I'm like, bruh, shut up. You got flamed one time and started running the white
right.
chicks. And y'all don't even be smashing like fine
The
white
hot
chicks
ones
either.
either.
Yeah, y'all be going to the trailer park 600-pound life white chicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
you know,
mean,
so
and it's I don't know, and it's now because unfortunately, well, I mean, I be a part of these like nerd groups, and it always be the same conversation, the
yeah,
same threads. But like, and I'm talking about the stupid arguments from both sides. But oh my god, the thing that be killing me is like dudes will confuse somebody like Meg the Stallion, right? Like
yeah,
someone who just be living their life, actually enjoying. And I think that's what it is too. I think a lot of, at least the niggas I see online. I mean, the niggas I
yeah,
see in real life, they're sane. But the niggas I see online, it's just like, damn, like y'all do know women have libidos too, right? Like, yeah, they
right,
go,
right,
yeah, Meg gonna do what the fuck she gonna do. Like, oh, she don't cook and clean. Well, nigga, when did you build a house? Like the
right,
fuck, like um, but yeah, no, it's just, and yeah, the brick lady thing. Now, which sucks because shit like that will happen. Like that does
right,
happen. Oh, sorry, I'm not interested in you. All of a sudden, next thing that woman knows, she's getting shot because
right.
she
I'll
didn't want to
say
give a nigga
though,
her number.
and I hope
Like,
I don't want to like out myself as no bad person or whatever. But when I first heard the story, something about it didn't sit right to me. I'll be honest with you. I ain't trying to make it seem like I was like
oh no,
Sherlock
you
Holmes or
just
nothing. But like I remember even at the time, because like when she was filming herself walking down the street after she got hit with the brick, you could tell that them dudes on the street did not know like A, what she was talking about, or B, who she was. Cause like it felt like she just walked past a random group of black dudes and was like, these dudes just sat there and watched me get hit with a brick. And you could tell by their faces in the video, they was like, what? Like
right.
they was like, what happened? Like, and so I remember even, and then it also, again, speaking of the gender war that created, I think didn't sit right with me because one of the things I hated about that, and I know people have the whole joke about hashtag not all men, but I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't like how that. I didn't. I don't know. It just didn't really sit right in my spirit. The reactions to that people took an incident that happened to that woman. Now, if it, and obviously we know it's not the case now, but at the time, I remember I was like, if that did happen to her, I feel very sad, and that dude who
Right,
did it
right.
is a disgusting loser. However, to indict all black men and say all black men do is sit around and watch chicks get hit in the face of the brick. That's the thing I was disgusted by because I was like, that's like when the chick did the whole bullet bag thing in response to that. I'm like, yo, what? Like, so you think your father's a bullet bag who watches girls get hit in the face with bricks too? Like, what about your grandpa? You got brothers? You think they're like
Mm.
that too? Like, like that's just like, I don't know. That really, like, I remember, and I think too, that's why too, with the whole information that's come out with her over the past like 2-3 years, I think that's why I was starting to get mad too at all the people who was like, "Oh, I don't like the way she's being treated by the judge." I'm like, I could care less because a lot of y'all use this story as an indictment of all black men. You know what I mean? Like that conscious Lee dude got on my nerves so bad, tap dancing for her. I was like, oh my God, consciously, like for real, like, and then they was trying to make you like, go, y'all be happy she getting punished uh because she was a woman and it caused black women to call y'all out. And I'm like, no, I'm
Because the
mad
fact that she
because she
lied.
indicted a whole group of people based on one situation that we found out she lied about. And
Mm.
she scammed y'all out of $64,000. Like, you know what I'm
See,
saying?
and that's what I said. It's like there's too many. real women who go through what she faked.
Exactly.
And, you
Exactly.
know, and not to sound like a SJW shit lib, but look, I mean, again, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, being called a bullet bag, yeah, that fucking sucks. All right.
Yeah.
Like, don't call me that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
But I mean, who's shooting us the most? Other niggas.
Right.
Right. So who's killing the black chicks the most? Us
Mm-hmm.
niggas. Like we don't want, so it's like, yes, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why I don't get too upset when I see, women, especially black women, just go on
Right.
their soapbox, because it's not like they lying. Well, except that one.
Right.
Like, but yeah, nah, it's like, you get, I mean, they'll get sexually assaulted, and it's
Right.
like they got to win two trials, right? They got to
Right.
win the trial against the community and the legal one. You
Right.
know, like, I mean, this nigga, this famous R&B singer, right? He got into a scuffle with a Caribbean woman. Definitely won that fight.
Right.
And he went on to whoop some more women, and he's
Right.
still selling out concerts. So, I mean, I don't know. The stats are just depressing.
Only
And
problem with that example though, most of his supporters is
yeah, I know, which is fucking
yeah,
weird, right?
yeah.
Like, cause
Like that
same
that's
thing with same thing with this this Canadian terrorist who shot one of our American superstars in the foot. I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of women on his side, and I'm like, okay,
I was just
but
mad we didn't get Chicks Tape 6. Chicks Tape 5 was hard. I'm not gonna be one of them. I'm sorry. I'm not one of the people who pretends they never listen to his music. There's so many of y'all who was hyping Chicks Tape 5, acting like y'all never listened to any of his music. I hate stuff like
you
that.
know,
I'm sorry. This don't got nothing to do with what we talk about. I'm just
right?
saying, I just don't like y'all can
Yeah, like
hate somebody and not
don't
act
pretend
like
the artist is trash just
yeah,
because.
that's like
Yeah,
people. That's like talking about. Oh, I believe I can fly was a terrible song. R. Kelly should be ashamed of himself. Come on, like you know what I mean? We don't
now,
got to do that, y'all. Like,
now in my experience, like the first song I ever heard from that Canadian terrorist was it was some song he did over like the beat, like they sampled Godfather, so the beat was hard. But
I
then he
don't
started
know.
doing that auto tune shit over it, and I was just like, all right, nigga, the fuck. But
I never
he does got
understood why
some
he
other
did that
songs.
because he would go in and out of it in the same song. He would rap, sing regularly, and then add auto to it. And I'd be like, why? Like that. I don't know why he would do that. I never understood that in terms of artistry wise. But
But
I
he
don't know.
got some bops. But
I
still.
remember the one he got big on, like his breakout single was like was gotta do more when you say it. Do the less when
Oh, that
you
was him
yeah
too. Okay.
yeah that
What
was
about that? Everyone falls. Was that him too?
Damn love
Okay.
yeah that was him yeah he had hey listen I'm not like I was bumping him heavy in college so I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I listened to him but no I feel you though yeah it was like it is yeah, it is odd. Also, speaking of said Virginia terrorist who selling out arenas, he's about to hook up with an Atlanta artist and do a joint tour, and he is fleecing y'all out y'all money. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, the
That,
bumps and bruises tour. That's what they calling it right
hey
now.
man,
I mean, and you
I
know what? And look, and just like you said, B, like
yeah
who's the main one buying them tickets?
yeah.
Women. So I mean,
Hey,
but
I will
granted, they're celebrities, right? So people's morality starts to get a little
right.
fuzzy when it comes to their favorite celebrity. But
Especially because like I'll say like at least when it came to Tory like we had Bryson Tiller as backup so like you know what I mean it was like we had a backup just in case one of them messed up we had the other
I know,
unfortunately
right? We had the We had the nigga from Kentucky.
Right. Like, unfortunately, no matter how much the music industry tries, we have no answer for Chris Brown. Who else? Every time they try to produce a Chris Brown substitute, he always he always beats him. Like we we who else, bro? We
Whether
ain't got
literally or
nobody.
figuratively, right? Like,
Exactly, because he does smack dudes too. Like there's no
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing you gotta respect about him. I mean, hey, he'll fight a man too. He like, and he be winning. Like that's what. Like,
No, it's not even that. It's just like he cornered the market on being a specific type of artist, and there is no answer to him. Who else we gonna get who can rap, sing, and do the crump dances? All right. Some artists have had variations of one or two of those categories. He does all three. What you gonna do? Tell him to stop? Go ahead. Them that what year or so hiatus he took after that incident. Remember, I don't know. I'm just old enough to remember being a kid during that time, and everybody was like, I remember everybody was like, yo, it's hard out here. Ain't no new Chris Brown this year. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody
yeah,
was
and
like,
you know what? It's crazy too. I'm actually surprised he was able to survive that scandal. I mean, because I was in high school. Okay, I think I was either a sophomore or junior one, but probably a sophomore. But my heart was so broke when I heard it because
yeah,
Umbrella was my shit. Like, and then I just like to
yeah.
find out. Oh,
Especially the remix with him on it.
yeah,
The,
yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like, yeah, like, ah, that hurt me
man.
so deeply.
I know that sucks so bad, especially too, because I remember. I swear, I remember like the day before that happened, right? Because like he performed at the VMAs and stuff like that. And I remember seeing the double mint gum commercial, and I remember the exact moment that double mint gum commercial switched from his version to I think it was like Carrie Underwood. Like they had
Yeah,
like a Carrie.
Wrigley's dropped him like a sack of
It was
potatoes.
like the next day. Like that was crazy. And I remember thinking at the time, granted, I was a kid, so I didn't know no better, but I was like, oh, like we not about to hear him ever again. But like I said, I remember if people go deny that they said this, but I remember people out there talking about, man, Chris ain't dropped nothing in a long time. And then as soon as he started dropping again, everybody was like, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like it is like it's sad, but also too, I mean, I was partially joking, but also I'm not in the sense of like there was no answer to replace him. Like who else is gonna take his spot for real? Like, the can't Drake maybe, but Drake can only do rap and R&B. He can't dance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like who else is really gonna do what he was doing?
And, Drake. Drake got his own little slew of controversy, right? So
It did same thing with that though, right? Like I'll say, granted, it took longer for him. I'd be honest, but I'll say when it came to the Drake moratorium,
some artists are just
like
some
I
artists are just too
remember,
big to fail.
I was about to say, and starting, I want to say around the beginning, no, towards like I want to say like the beginning of last summer. I'll say I started hearing whispers in the wind of people like, man, we need a Drake hit this summer. What happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like once I started seeing them tweets, I knew it's a Drake coming back. Like, so yeah. But yeah, no, it's like it's sad, the whole thing is crazy, But I think too it's also important to have a discussion. There are, again, when it comes to fame, there is a lot of stuff people are allowed to get away with, but unfortunately, there are some women abusers out here who've allowed to be getting away with. I mean, I'll say sometimes I'll see people trivialize it. I'll still say it's crazy that Cardi B came out. It was like, hey, I used to drug and rob men, and, and everybody was just cool with that. Like I was like,
But she
that's
wasn't
wild.
raping their ass. She was just taking their stuff, which is still wrong and fucked up.
I
But
feel like that still crosses a line. Like that's kind of crazy. Like
I
that's like
mean, no, I mean, drugging people is fucked up in general. But I mean,
right,
unlike
especially
Bill
too because
Cosby, she
like I
wasn't
feel like
committing
from what it
sexual
sounded
assault.
like, she at least she didn't like obviously she didn't have actual like sexual contact with them, but she coerced them with the idea of
Mm.
sex, and that's how she drug. I don't know. To me, that just feels like it crosses a weird line.
Yeah, she's
That if
like,
I heard God forbid I heard like I don't know Gucci Man was doing something like that to women, I'd be like, hey man, that's
I
crazy.
mean, Gucci
Like,
Man. Now, let me tell y'all niggas about Gucci Man. Gucci Man got forgiven for a lot of shit. I mean, I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but I remember back in like '09, like there was this video that you know we used to watch. It's like I don't even know what caused him to do it. Like I think he was doing a show. I think it was some female rapper. I didn't know who she was or some sort of personality. She was on stage too. I guess she was just drunk having fun. The man just came and just saying, "Yeah," just decked her in the face, and like in front of everybody.
that's crazy.
And
That's
then
not funny.
of course, there was a story about him throwing a bitch out of a moving car. So I mean, but I don't know. Like I was thinking about this too. Like like when it comes to like niggas who are like gangster rappers and stuff. I guess like
You
they
expect
can
that though,
kind of you would expect that kind of like with Cardi B. Okay, she was a stripper and stuff. Honestly, so yeah, she's gonna be honeypotting niggas to get drugged, which is still wrong.
right?
But yeah. So it's weird like how selective the
Well, I
outrage
mean,
can be
again,
too.
I don't know. I've been sounding pretty problematic so far, or at least I hope I haven't. But I don't know. Somebody might say it. But about to bury myself in a deeper hole. That was kind of how I felt about the whole the baby situation at Lollapalooza. I was like, y'all forgave him for shooting people and beating up people in the mall, and he punched a journalist in the face and took his camera. But y'all drew the line at him being stupid and saying incorrect facts about AIDS and HIV and gay
Oh
people.
yeah,
I was like, yeah,
that's where
I
you drew
think
the line.
and that was my whole argument when it came to that. Everybody, I remember someone was like, "Oh, why are you defending him saying that about gay people?" I'm like, I'm not, but I knew he was stupid. I thought we all knew that. Like, I thought, what if I was gonna go to somebody about like advice about sexual health amongst like straight and gay populations, I probably wouldn't go to the baby. Like I don't. I'm surprised we're having this debate about the baby. Like I just
Right.
as someone also who did not enjoy his music and still doesn't really enjoy his music, I do have two songs of his that I think are kind of good. But like other than that, I didn't think he deserved to be canceled as hard as he did. He's dumb. We knew this. He comes out on
I
stage in
mean,
a baby diaper.
that's just like that's like going back, to that Rocco song, right? Reebok dropping Rick Ross, and it's just like,
Yeah,
okay, like if you listen to his music, he killed like 88% of Florida. I mean, what's rape? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So,
Or
see, now I sounded problematic. Somebody
yeah,
gonna
or
clip me in
like
the
when
comments.
Wayne said the Emmett Till line, like and Boyce Watkins had him drop from Mountain Dew, and I was like, Boyce, have you heard the other songs? Like,
I mean, now to be fair, I mean, come on, Wayne, you could have left Emmett alone on that one, bro. You didn't
oh,
have
for
to listen.
sure, it
I
was
mean,
crazy. It was a terrible
the
lyric.
thought
Like,
of, I mean, I'm surprised none of his producers are like gonna use Emmett Till in a rap line about sex. Are you sure you want to do that?
did
You
you
know,
think
like
he be listening to the producers? Because I don't. I
I,
know.
they go
YS YSCMB. uh
oh man,
oh
yeah,
man,
we
but
are we are 20 minutes
oh
above
yeah,
the hour. This is actually pretty
yeah,
cool. I'm
yeah,
gonna just
but
say my
nah.
piece and I'll let you go.
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, oh yeah, so yeah, man. As I said, the main point is, you know, we as far as the gender wars is concerned, I wish people can actually really look at what the core issues are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, yes, you know, women are toxic. They need to be called out a lot more. And yeah, like, and us men, we do got to speak out more about the things that
Mm-hmm.
happen. But the murder rate against women, especially black women, it is very staggering. Okay, like there's something going on. Whether it's economic, whether it's socialization, whatever. Like something's got to be fixed because there's
Right.
just too many black women just being killed by people who are supposed to love them.
Right.
So yeah, man, and I wish, and don't let Facebook and Twitter,
Right.
uh, Instagram, poison your mind, to where the conversation becomes,
Mm-hmm.
just two sides hurling grenades at each other.
Right.
Try to find some people. Also, read
Mm-hmm.
up on this stuff. And try to find people who are actually willing to have this conversation truthfully. You know, and that's my piece on that. B, go ahead and close us out, man.
Oh yeah, it's definitely dope conversation. Like I said, I think you need to pay, especially on social media. Social media is a dangerous place for conversation anyway. But look into the people who are throwing these tent poles up when it comes to hating on certain genders. You know, are they getting paid for their speech? What is the core issue behind their speech? Are they mad about something else before they said that particular thing? Definitely focus on that. Check yourselves too. Not everything is an attack. You know what I mean? Sometimes some people's just saying something stupid. Sometimes people just need a space of vent. Not everything's an attack. And yeah, and also, I don't hate to sound like white liberal about this, but like we definitely got more in common than we do apart. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, especially black men and black women, we supposed to be on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Even if we're not dating each other, we should at least be loving each other. All right, like we're not the enemy. Like focus up on really who benefits on our division and our hatred and our violence toward each other. So but yeah, no, it's been another dope episode of the SOS. We had a long one today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm B. We got Tenzin. Our brother Los ain't here, but he's part of this thing too. Make sure y'all hit the What They Want podcast tomorrow, I believe. No, it's Friday. My bad, Friday.
Friday,
What the
Friday.
Yeah, What They Want podcast on Friday. Go hit up our sister's podcast. I'm trying to think. Did she put out a new episode recently? I think she
I think
did.
she did. She talked to some old lady. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause she texted me to link to that. Yeah, raw recovery underscore the community. Hit that up. Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I just checked. Yeah, it's on there. Raw recovery underscore the community. Hit that up on YouTube. Check that podcast out. Come back here Wednesdays 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll hit y'all up with a new episode. Thank y'all so much, and peace, y'all.
Peace out. And